right, hello, welcome to Real Talk Live with Arnett D. Love. Let's see what's going on with this here. There we go. We should be good. Welcome to Real Talk Live with Arnett D. Love. And I am here once again with the 18th Virginia Senate District candidate for our state senator, Mr. Tony Goodwin. So, Mr. Goodwin, I'm going to give you an opportunity now to tell us about yourself once again, for those who missed it.
All right. Well, Arnett, thank you very much for coming out and seeing us here at beautiful Cambridge Hall.
Beautiful.
It is the former historic Portsmouth Catholic High School that closed in 1991. Was here for 100 years, from 1891 to 1991. Believe it or not, it was the first integrated school in the city of Portsmouth.
Oh, really?
Back when it was still in existence. So it's something to share with the fact that we've got so much history in Portsmouth as well as here in Hampton Roads. But thank you again for the opportunity to talk to you today and your listeners. I'm Tony Goodwin, of course, a born and bred Portsmouth native, and quite frankly, I call myself a Hampton Roads native.
Okay.
Lived all the way from the western branch and moved out to the ocean front with my family when I graduated from high school down there, but there was just not enough ocean to keep me down at the ocean front. So I had to come back home to Portsmouth to do what I wanted to make a difference in this community from my hometown.
Okay. So with that being said, why are you running to be the next senator?
Well, as you know, I've said this once and many times that I've strived to do more for my community. As a commercial real estate agent, this was one of my projects that I was so proud of, to get it turned into an event space here in Old Town. But have always done improvements in commercial and economic development here in the city. I call Portsmouth my sandbox. And quite frankly, over the last 15 years, I've done actually over almost $65 million worth of investment in our city, single-handedly. And sadly, it's unfortunate that a lot of times our government is what actually stops a lot of our development, a lot of our processes. So I feel like, as a voice in Richmond for the community of Portsmouth and now Chesapeake, the northern section of Chesapeake, I feel like I can make a difference in our state capital to help bring back the vitality that Portsmouth had in the past. You can see a stark difference between Portsmouth and Chesapeake. A lot of us here that live here in Portsmouth actually go to Chesapeake a lot of times, or northern Suffolk, to buy goods for our homes, or at the same time just shop, quite frankly, because there's not a lot of that available for us here in Portsmouth. I know this because I live it every day.
Okay. So let me ask you this. We know that they did some redistricting. Can you talk to the people and tell them where you are in the district?
Well, all I can say is what's made it really easy and explained to a lot of people is there's a group called the Virginia Public Access Project called vpap.org. You can go to that website, and the first thing you see is put in your address, and that will tell you who presently represents you and who is looking to represent you in the near future here in the November elections. vpap.org, vpap.org. But I have, and this is of course also available on the city's website, but this is the entire city of Portsmouth with all of the districts in the darker color area here that are actually part of the 18th district, and the 4 precincts actually in Churchland, from Churchland High School, Churchland Middle, Churchland Primary, and also Grove Baptist, are the 4 precincts that are in the 17th district, where Quentin Jenkins and Emily Brewer are actually running their race.
Gotcha. Because I remember this lady was telling me she went to vote, and during the preliminary in June, and she was like, well, who I went to vote for wasn't on my ballot. And so I think it's important that people know exactly what to expect when they get to their voting.
Correct. And all I can say is, for everyone, do your research. And I think Slim Overton says it best: be informed at all times to know who you're voting for and what they stand for.
Absolutely, and that's so important.
Very important.
To research, we have to stop allowing people to tell us who to vote for. We have to, at some point, maybe that you can use that to, if you're on in the middle.
Sure.
But at some point, you have to do your own research. So that's so important. Now, I've been studying a little bit because I'm looking at everybody that knows I am. And I saw what you said. You don't solve problems by electing the same people over and over again. Vote for change. So my question to you, in your observation, can you identify some of the problems that you're seeing?
Well, first and foremost, like I said, economic vitality of Portsmouth. We at one point in time used to have manufacturing jobs all over the city, and over the last 30 plus years, we've lost those jobs. I call those legacy jobs, where they are living wage jobs. Typically, someone, either a family member worked there, and their son or daughter or family member come in and work right alongside of them because they were good paying jobs.
Right.
We all remember, as Portsmouth residents, remember places like Procter and Gamble and the Skippy peanut butter plant.
Yes.
And what was the most recent that hit us hard was the Goodwin plant. Mm-hmm. That was 400 jobs that left this city at the drop of a pen because of, quite frankly, I think bad policies for not only Portsmouth but also for the state. Okay. They left to go to North Carolina basically because they need to modernize the facility, which they constantly were doing anyhow. Mm-hmm. But we basically needed to do a better job of keeping them here. Also, just on the verge of the 18th district, another big one, the Ford Motor Company. Right. left the city of Norfolk and left this region at the drop of a pen to move it out of the country. Mm-hmm. But they've now since come back. Okay. So but why did they leave after being in Norfolk for so long and all those jobs went away? Mm-hmm. My biggest thing is that we need to do a better job, not only as Portsmouth and Chesapeake, but also as a region. Okay. And I think if you really take a look at the region and how it's set up, it's just like a car engine. You've got 6 cylinders or 8 cylinders in a car. If one cylinder is misfiring, i.e. Portsmouth, then the whole region suffers. Gotcha. And we need to do a better job as a city, but as a region, and be more competitive, because I can tell you that from what I see in the real world when it comes to economics, I see that we're being passed by places like Raleigh-Durham. Mm-hmm. Charlotte has already passed us by, Atlanta. These cities and regions pass us by, and we don't come up with nothing but excuses. Now, we're very dependent on military, and we're very fortunate to have as much military presence as we do. Right. But private sector has to be increased. Jobs have to be increased. And we also need to retain our youth that are going through our 4-year institutions, such as NSU and ODU and Virginia Wesleyan and Hampton U. They need to stay here to work instead of getting out and realizing there's no jobs in this region. Yeah. That's a big problem. Yeah. I agree because they graduate and then they move away. Absolutely. Yeah. So I agree with that. So so we talked about economic development, and I know that is very, very important to you. So are you saying that one of your goals as the next senator is to make sure we work on getting those corporations back here, get the businesses? Entice them, and enticing is basically by giving incentives. Okay. One of the big things I talk about on the campaign trail is technology and technology zones. We are getting ready to plug Hampton Roads into the world with the transatlantic cable that's coming across from Spain, landing right in Virginia Beach. Okay. That's going to connect both the Hampton Roads fiber network ring, plus the investment that the city of Portsmouth has been put in and is basically ready to go for new industry. But what I am saying is that we need to make sure that our private sector is on pace with what's being developed in the utilities and the things that are coming in through that fiber ring. And this is one particular area in the heart of this district is Military Highway, from Bowers Hill and the Cavalier Industrial Park, right below Cavalier Manor, and the Gilmerton area. Okay. Yes, it's all in Chesapeake, but we've got residential on both the north and the south side of this area that can feed into a great opportunity for us to create a technology zone. It's written to the state legislator, and we, as the city of Chesapeake and Portsmouth together, can create an area that is just so impactful, because that fiber optic ring I was telling you about runs right down the middle of Military Highway. Oh, okay. So we are poised to be the best of the best, and we've got to take full advantage of it. You see,
so excited
Yes.
about that potential as well.
Yes.
I can feel it. So now let me, since we're talking about that, I'm skipping around, y'all. So what do you say to the people? Because I've heard people, well, I've read, I haven't heard them, but they said they didn't know you,
Correct.
and so they're kind of hesitant to vote for you. So what I think what we use in real estate, bait and switch, they're afraid of that. What do you say to those people who are out there and afraid that you're going to say this, and then when you get in office, you're going to switch up, and then their news haven't.
My three main principles of my campaign. First of all passionate principles, as well as I live them every day. Commercial real estate agent. My intention is to make sure that this area has a true future in economic development. With a passion, that's what I do. Secondly, education. I have a 16-year-old in Portsmouth Public Schools. We believe in the public school system. We believe in it. My wife and I are both products of it, and our daughter has been from Parkview Elementary all the way to Churchland High School. And we're passionate about it, but also more importantly, we've been there every step of the way as a parent.
Okay.
And that's extremely important. The third main principle, which ties both economic development and also education together, is of course our crime. And attacking our crime in a way that it makes sense, it's common sense, and making sure that we're doing the best thing possible to preserve the integrity of our communities. Giving the tools to the police that are obviously there to protect and serve is what's key. We have to be more proactive rather than reactive. Because reactive is only emboldening the criminals to continue to do. We need to be proactive. We need to get our police force fully staffed. We need to make sure that they have the tools to do the job. We need to also make sure that our prosecution and the criminals that are doing these deeds are actually punished to the fullest extent of the law. We're not doing that in a way that makes sense, because they're getting back out and we're just creating this constant routine of always saying, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, it's time to stop talking about what we are going to do. It's time to do it and get it done, because the lives that are lost on our city streets per capita in Portsmouth are surpassing other major urban areas in our country.
Actually, we're number one in Virginia.
I hate to say it, but we are, and we're number one for a lot of reasons. But I hate to say we're number one for that reason.
I know it's very sad. I agree with you. You give the law enforcement what they need, because my thing is, if you don't give it to them, how you hold them accountable?
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
can't if you don't give them what they're asking for. So, if I decide to run again, and if I decide to run for city council, y'all gotta know I'm gonna give them. I'm pro law enforcement.
I was gonna say you were former law enforcement.
Yeah, so they're gonna get everything they want from me.
You know what we're talking about. And here's another thing. I think it's very important that this is not just a police and criminal issue. This is a community issue. This is a society issue that needs to be attacked. And not in all ways a politician is the one to fix it either.
Right, absolutely.
But what I'm saying is that we are the people that obviously are in the positions of leadership that get things done, so society and the community can also do the things that's important for them to get back their streets.
I'm glad you said that, because I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that you are a proponent of grassroots organizations, reaching back into this, community, trying to help redirect the youth here. And so I've been watching you, and I saw that about you. So will you continue, to support them once you're elected, and how so?
Very much so, and I can honestly say with some sincerity that the 25 plus years that I've been working in this city, I have been serving on the board of Oasis Social Ministries. I'm a two-time president of the Portsmouth Rotary Club. Our motto is service above self. I continue to stay in that position as far as being part of the Rotary International and Rotary mission. Also, in doing so, I've been involved with, of course, the Business Association and created bridges and brought things together where we reached out to our neighboring communities such as Craddock and Truxton and Old Town, or excuse me, Churchland, to bring the business communities together and make sure that we do the very best thing we can do as the community-based organizations. That is something that will never go away with me because I'm involved daily, and that's where people see me all the time. I think that the grassroots efforts when it comes to groups such as Stop the Violence 757 with Monica and her group is on the way to being a model for not only Virginia but also our country, because she's got programs that are basically directing not only resources but also people in the right direction. I implore anyone to get involved with already established organizations, not to try out and reinvent the wheel.
Right.
But there's other organizations that can always come together and make a big impact. And you'll find just a lot of people that are passionate about doing that. I think another person I think you and I both know is Daryl Redmond.
Yeah.
A at one point in time being incarcerated himself and coming out and telling these kids in the community where people don't usually go to tell them you can do a better job, you can do good things in your community, as telling these youth, because don't take that path. Trust me, you don't want to be there.
Right.
And we believe it.
And that's the whole thing about a lot of the grassroots organizations. These guys, a lot of them been there. They know what they're talking about. And a lot of times, like with me, I tell you, I'm a little heavy, okay? So if you're heavy, you can't tell me how to lose weight. You understand? So if you've been through the system, I'm going to listen to you. And this is what I tell people a lot of times. You may have good intentions, but you may not be the one that can reach someone that's out there. So I think that these organizations are very important. So
well, I can also add to that is that I'm going to be the first to admit I'm not always the professional in the room, and I'm willing to accept the fact that we need the professionals in the room to talk about the most important parts, and admit, number one, when you have a problem such as the crime that we have, such as some of the dysfunctional government that we have, its operation, you have to admit there's a problem first before you actually begin to solve it.
You do.
You really do.
Yes, that's very important. So we going all through my little questions. Natural conversation, y'all. So and it is well worth it. So your any more goals? And we know you're going to hit the economic development of the areas in your district. What are your other goals?
Well, I can honestly say, and a lot of people remember me. Now, you say a lot of people don't know me, but I can guarantee you a lot of people know me from where we fought to fight the tunnel tolls. The downtown and midtown tunnel tolls were something that was a situation that caused Portsmouth to suffer the most. If we weren't already suffering with economic, development and things happening in the city, that was a big stumbling block for us, and we've got to overcome that.
So what do you propose? What are you going to propose that happens with that? Because I know you're only one person when you one senator when you get there. What do you think can help us?
Yes, and I'm not naive to the fact that I am one person out of 40 at the Senate. But I can honestly say, with a voice for you in Richmond, we can actually bring to the table the right people to actually fix this situation. There is a fix to that contract. That contract is to last another 48 years, 49 years, and there is a fix to that contract. And I know that there's what we like to call the Achilles heel in that contract that can bring the volume down in those downtown and midtown tunnels, and that really is what needs to happen. Ulterior motives of transportation, we're penalized. The Hampton Roads region is penalized for when they create a new road or tunnel over that waterway. So the high-rise bridge in Chesapeake is going to be tolled. The new lanes are going to be tolled.
Wow.
The 4 original lanes, they don't have to be tolled, but the new lanes are going to be tolled. The Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel is considered a competition to the downtown and midtown tunnel, and per the contract, The state is penalized if they don't toll it, and if they do toll it, it has to match. So these are things that people don't realize that's happening. And so what would really be the number one solution in fixing this, and what we proposed to do when we were supposed to build the Midtown Tunnel in the first place, was put multimodal or light rail through the tunnel.
Okay.
A way to bring people back and forth from one side to the other. That's still a possibility. And you know, it's not necessarily a state senate thing as much as it is having the voice of the people in a position as state senator to talk to the folks at the federal level, to make sure they do the right thing, because they have an issue as well. One of the things that they have is that they have a large population of naval shipyard workers, Coast Guard workers, and naval hospital workers. We've got 20 new facilities poised to be broke ground on the naval shipyard, and it's landlocked. It can't be built. It can't build out anymore. It has to be built internally, and that means you're taking away parking lots to build them. Where do you put the cars? You bring the workers in a safe and reliable, efficient mode of transportation, such as light rail, to those job opportunities. Portsmouth has the most endpoints of people coming into the city and working and leaving every day from any other city in Hampton Roads. These things I watch on a regular basis. My job is to watch trends in the real world. And knowing that, I know there's a solution when it comes to light rail. And I know there's a solution of getting our workers to and from work on a reliable, timely basis and not fall on the backs of the citizens of Hampton Roads.
And when I say one vote, is because I want to stress to everybody that because you vote someone in, doesn't mean they're going to go and instantly make a difference. Like you said, you're going to bring it to the table, but you got to get some more people to back you up with it. So, and that's why I specify that because nobody can do it themselves. It's an effort, a group effort. So look, okay, I want to ask this: what happened to your sign?
Which sign?
The ones you said were missing.
The only one?
It was just one?
It's actually two. One is in Chesapeake. We recovered that one. And that was more or less a misunderstanding. And then the one on County and South Street, well, I don't know. All I know is I had full permission from the business owner for about, it's going back as far as August. And it's been there since August. So now all of a sudden I guess I got evicted. And my competitor moved in.
Because I was like, somebody called me, I'm not even going to lie, I got a phone call about your signs, about those signs. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, don't call me talk about she went and moved the sign because I know good well she didn't go move the sign. I was like, man, we go through this all the time.
Somebody had to change of heart. Hey, it happens, and it's you know. At least it was in one piece this time.
Yeah, I had my signs moved. I had them move beside the building. I went and found it, put it back up. Then it was gone. I was like, okay, it happens.
It happens, and it's an unfortunate situation. But hey, we roll with the punches, I guess you could say.
Absolutely, I'm trying to keep it with time. I know you got some things to do. Now I saw another post that you have put about the bill that your competitor had about limiting the police or when they can make a traffic stop. And you had quoted, I quote you, not allowing police to do their jobs to be proactive and prevent crime is one thing, but then say we need to do more to stop the senseless violence. Now, with the traffic stop, I just see a kind of different from what we're going through as far as with our kids in the street and all that stuff. But I want to give you a chance to explain what you were thinking when you wrote that.
Well, again, I think that a police is to the slogan is to protect and serve. Protect and serve. That's the slogan, and that needs to be the focus. The overreaching, the tools that they have are a way to be proactive. And it's an unfortunate circumstance, but when you have someone, and I've been pulled over for a state inspection. I've been pulled over for a taillight that's out. I've been pulled over, and I know everybody's been pulled over for these items, for these small infractions. But every time a police officer will stop anyone, they will ask for the driver's license, they will ask for the proof of insurance, or driver's license or ID, or proof of insurance. That's to check and make sure everything is on a clean bill of health. And it's not a targeting thing. It's a proactive approach to making sure that the bad guys are not continuing to do bad. And I think that's part of, that's that tool. And it should be subtle. It should not be feel like, can't stop someone because of the demographics or the nature of who it is.
But see, in a perfect world, that's what it is. Yeah. But I do believe that there are some that abuse it. And I think that has become the issue more so than being proactive. Yeah. Because there are some that have abused. I remember one time I was driving to Chesapeake. I was going to work, y'all. I was in uniform, but you couldn't see it. And I got pulled over. Cars flying. So I get pulled over. So as soon as he gets to the car, he busts out laughing. And I'm like, what you pull me over for? He was like, well, you was, don't play with me. All those cars riding by me so fast, so you pulled me over. And he was like, girl, go to work. But I mean, it was a laughing moment because, I work for the sheriff department, but really, I wanted to know, bro, why you pulled me over? Yeah. So it can be harassing. I love law enforcement. My kids always be like, you're no longer the popo, so let it go, but you can't let it go. And so I know that everybody is not bad, but we want to look at everything from the good view. And to me, just sometimes it is, I do believe the people that has taken advantage of that has made it so bad for for some people. But I get it.
And we don't want to continue to demonize the police department as being the bad guys in just being wearing the badge. Right. We need to know. We need to go back. We need to all sit down and understand the importance of what the police are there to do, and that is to do a job and protect and serve. Yeah. That is their sole mission, and to protect the innocent and the guilty, no matter how that we look at it, until they can determine that they're the person that's in that car that might have been stopped for a minor traffic infraction, which is in some cases an equipment violation more so than anything. And it's on that judgment call that they can take it to the next step. But most importantly, they run the person's ID to know that they are actually not wanted. Yeah. Not in any other situation, and it should never be a situation of either black or white. It should never. No, and it really shouldn't. It shouldn't. I just look at it, good apples, bad apples, and everything that we have, and sometimes the bad have more influence on the decisions that has to be made. Sure. But I don't look at it as a black and white, because how can I mean, like I said, I served with a lot of people for almost 16 years, and the people that came to my rescue didn't always look like me. When I got into, a scuffle, it didn't matter, so I can't sit here and do the black and white thing either. So, let me see, we talked about the, I've been researching you anyway. That's a good thing. And you probably know a lot about me now. So you were talking about new ideas and everything, and like I was saying earlier, that you were very excited about what you know that you're going to bring to the district. Yes. And I heard you mention the free enterprise businesses, bringing them in. Correct. And so, and I think that's important too. I got my little businesses, y'all. So, I'm with that. Well, you've heard about the new development of the former famous department store, which supports TCC Visual Arts.
Oh no.
Yes, it's somewhat of a co-working, co-business mingling space that'll basically give a hand up to the woman-owned businesses.
Is it gonna be like the Bloom?
Not like the Bloom, more so, but actually brick and mortar businesses for woman-owned businesses that focus on. And then the top floor is going to be an event space.
I think I might have heard about that.
Yes,
I do. One of the ladies, I think I met her, and she was talking about because they're gonna do some I guess like theater type stuff. Or is it like?
She was actually looking at it as being a tenant, and I know exactly who you're talking to.
Oh,
Miss
okay.
Cook, or actually Billy, her husband, I used to work with in the real estate business, so we all kind of had the same circles there. But I know she's been focused on a couple of different projects, but I have to say that the new owners of the Visual Arts Center building, the former famous department store, as a lot of people remember, is really got a lot of big plans and a lot of neat ideas that I think is going to be another shot in the arm of Portsmouth having something that we can all be proud of.
Okay, so how do you feel about your campaign right now?
Well, I can honestly say that I have overwhelming support from the folks out in Chesapeake. My friends in Chesapeake, I have family that live in all points of the district, and my parents actually live over in Norfolk Highlands, Indian River Road area. My brother actually, his wife and daughter live over in Deep Creek, and I feel like I've been adopted by John and Carol Dietrich out in Western Branch.
Okay.
So I'm happy to say there's been a lot of overwhelming support from our folks in Chesapeake and also in Portsmouth. Portsmouth is coming through in a lot of different ways, and I feel real comfortable that we are offering an opportunity to make change, to bring new ideas to the table, to identify the fact of the things that we've missed on opportunities over the last 10 and 20 years, and why we have not been as successful as we should be, not only as a city of Portsmouth, but also the entire region. And I want to tell and assure everyone that when you do vote for a Goodwin for Virginia, which is my slogan, you will get a person that is passionate about what I do. I've said this once before to many of my friends at City Hall that hate me for anything, but don't hate me for being passionate and willing to push forward with a project that everyone can be proud of and everyone can be a part of. So I think there is a lot of people see this, a lot of people see the opportunity, the timing is right with the new boundaries in the new district, where District 18 now encompasses, like I said, 90% of Portsmouth and the whole northern half of Chesapeake now.
Okay, so I got 2.5 more questions, y'all, and then I'm gonna let them go. Did you get my invitation to the second District American Legion prayer breakfast that's coming up on November 4th?
I think I did.
Okay.
I only get about 50 emails a day in each email address.
We need you to pin that because I was asked to ask everybody that's running, all of the politicians that's in the area.
Okay.
It was like, make sure you ask them to come because it's going to be people from our district. So
all right, so it's live and it's recorded on record that I will be in attendance in the
Okay, so that's
I'll put it right here in my calendar right now.
That's my 1.5 questions. The next question is, did you vote for Arnett D. Love for school board?
Yes.
All right.
I did. Now I have to say something. I usually don't tell people who I actually vote for. It's kind of personal now. But I have to say with some confidence, I believe I did.
All right, thank you.
So November 4th, right? 8 o'clock, prayer breakfast, right?
Yes.
All right, it is on my
9:30.
9:30. Well, I'm gonna be there early because I'm gonna make it 8:30 myself.
I'll be there.
And everybody else. Now, where is it being held?
It's gonna be at the American Legion here on Peach Street.
American Legion on Peach Street. Okay, gotcha. I will make sure that it's in my phone and I am there.
Gotcha.
And is there tickets to be bought ahead of time?
They're $10, and I'll make sure you I get back with you on that. And anybody out there that wants to come, we're going to be praying. We're going to be praying for our community, our state, and everything.
That's what it takes.
And so we're going to pray, and we wanted our politicians there with us praying there. It's $10. I do have some tickets. You can reach me. But what I want to do is give you just a little time to talk to the people.
Okay.
And, close us.
Well, Arnett, thank you again for coming here to Cambridge Hall. You can hear they're probably in the background. They're getting set up for a wonderful event downstairs. It's a Celtic rock concert. I don't know if anybody actually knows what a Celtic rock, but it's a great venue. We've got a world-class fiddler downstairs getting set up from 3 to 5 this afternoon. But again, thank you very much for the opportunity to sit down with you, have some casual conversation about our campaign, about what we intend to do together. And I say this with we. It is we, the people, of course, when it comes down to making the right things happen for our communities. I am, again, a very passionate person. You will not find me hiding behind a rock or behind a door anywhere. I come out during the election season, but I stay out the entire time. A lot of times our elected officials, you lose track of them between election cycles, and that is something I can't do. I just cannot do that. So I will be out in the communities, working side by side with all of my friends and family and all of the folks of District 18 on a regular basis. I call Portsmouth my sandbox. I call it my home. My wife and daughter, of course, lived in the neighborhood where I was born, right there in Portsmouth General Hospital. Back, we moved there in 2004, but moved back to Portsmouth when we were married in 2000. So, and with her and her involvement, a lot of people know her from where she ran the Sports Hall of Fame, unfortunately, from the day it opened to the day it closed because of a government political football. And then she's now opened up a new facility out in Chesapeake in Great Bridge called the Battlefield Waterways History Foundation of Great Bridge. And so she is passionate about what she does. So the whole family is engaged 110% in everything that we do. And I couldn't do it without them as well. And we also own a store down here on High Street. I put our money where our mouth is when it comes to economic development. We have a small little general store right there beside Roger Brown's, which we intend to make part of the community as well and service the needs of our community here in downtown as well as abroad. So if you haven't learned about who I am, please go to our website at agoodwinforvirginia.com. You can also go to when I ran for mayor in 2020, agoodwinforportsmouth.com, and they'll both go to the same location. Yes. And it's all about the fact that I can't emphasize it enough. I'm all about community. I have a motto in my business that everything I do is a win-win-win situation, where it's a win for either in my real estate business, a buyer or seller, or a win for the tenant buyer, seller, landlord, tenant. But more importantly, the third win is always the community in everything that I do. And I will attest, if anyone ever wants to come up and actually we do a meet and greet, you can go to my website as well. If you need to learn more about what we intend to do for this community and this district, then we invite you to come to our website, request a meet and greet time, and we'll come right to your front driveway. It's like what I call a driveway social. And we've got a little bit of time because today is October the 8th, and election day is November the 7th. We are voting now during the week, Monday through Friday, and the last 2 Saturdays of before election day, down at City Hall in Portsmouth, and of course, Registrar's office down in Chesapeake. But you have plenty of opportunity to get out and get your vote cast and make sure we can make it a good win for Virginia.
Absolutely. So thank you so much once again for interviewing with me.
Thank you.
And I thank y'all for joining, and tell your friends they can catch the replay on Facebook or on YouTube. Thank you so much once again for joining Real Talk Loud on Nettie Love.
Yay.
Thank